Welcome to Center Heist Productions. It is September 18th, 2024. Please hit the likes and subscribe down in your right-hand corner. Muchly appreciated. Please don't forget to do that. We're trying to make a good, strong network here and for Habs community where we give you the information straight out, a good, honest, viable insight into the Habs. We try to, for the most part, avoid rumorville. So, with that focus being said, this is, as it says, part three um, of the rookie training, or actually Habs main training camp. And so we've seen the players that were invited. Now we're going to part three, which is the goaltending address. And the goaltending is going to be easy to address. The goalies invited was Luke Caravellin, Jacob Dobes, Connor Hughs, Hunter Jones, Montembeau, and of course Primo. And it's pretty straightforward. I think we're going to have Monty and Primo. I do think will be the two we see. I, however, do think that could be quite a battle because I don't think Monty necessarily has that number one spot tied up yet. I think Primo kind of showed some improvement there where he's going to be pushing Monty, and we're going to see how Monty does with the pressure on his heels. I think that's going to be an interesting challenge, and who comes out of it on top be interesting. Now, with that being said, out of all the other young goaltenders that are invited, I think the guy to watch is Jacob Dovish. He had a phenomenal season after a tough start in Laval last year, but carrying all the weight load, he came on quite well. And the experience he gained there, and he's nowhere near his ceiling yet. I think I'll put it to you this way. I wouldn't be shocked if he makes a move here. I don't think it would be extremely out of the question. I think it's a matter of when more than anything. Might be a little early this year, but nothing would surprise me. I think, the Habs could end up giving him the odd look. And I do think at some point, I do think he will surpass one of these two or both. I think he's got quite a ceiling. So I have high hopes for him. We know Fowler is who we're expecting, and the Russian goaltender. That's a duo tandem I expect, but I think Dobish, he's ahead of his development compared to those two. So I do think he will be the first one to have an opportunity to join a tandem for taking someone's job from them at some point. Now, whether it's this year, if not, more likely next year that you could see that move. But I would not, don't be surprised if it were to happen. I think he has a higher ceiling than both goaltenders, to tell you the truth. He's kind of surprised me compared to his first training camp. He's come a long ways. And you can't rule out Connor Hughs, the guy they brought over as the veteran goalie for Laval either. He had quite a good record in the Swiss League and also playing for Canada at some point. So the two goalies Montreal can't nap, and that's the bottom dollar. So because either one of these two, I believe, the rest of them I wouldn't be so concerned about, but those two I think and more so I lean towards Dovish in that area is pushing them hard. So with that being said, I honestly think, in my opinion, I think it'll end up being Monty and Primo this season. And I wouldn't be. I think it's going to be a fight for who is the starter, to be honest. And that's where I see the goaltending going this season. And we have to realize this is one of the weakest tandems in the NHL. You can go check it up. I watch all of these. The Athletic, read all the Athletic. I read all of Eric Engel's stuff. I read all of Elliott's stuff. I read a lot of different articles, and uh, when you see the ratio of TSN and all of those places as well, when you hear the ratios of it all, we have one of the weaker tandems with these two. These two will not be the future in the net for Montreal. There's no doubt in my mind. There's too many lapses and holes in their game. Yes, Primo has improved, but I don't know how much more improving he can do because he's got a bad glove. And Monty didn't seem to react too well last season. He went down a bit where Primo really, there wasn't much, they were pretty darn, could have went either way. They're on and off. Primo had a good improvement where I think Monty slid a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see. So this is a tandem. It's only going to be here for a couple seasons from here, if anything at all. These two will be replaced at some point. There's no doubt in my mind. They will be surpassed. Just a matter of when. I think next year on is more realistically the time they should start worrying. But again, I would not bet against Dobes. I think he could apply good heat. So we'll see where that goes. Anyway, with that being said, now we're going to get to my projection for the up and coming season. I do think there will be an improvement for us in the standings. I do think that we will stay in last place in the Atlantic. The teams are well ahead of us in their rebuilds. The three teams, Detroit, Buffalo, and Ottawa. And Ottawa, they really got our number for some reason. I think when they play us, they get up to a level, their best games of their year, really. That they play us so hard, and we got to find a way to counter that and start winning because it's going to be crucial for the Habs now, with the responsibility being applied that now they've got to tighten up that defensive zone and get the goals against way down. That has to be There has to be an improvement there with that just there has to be a change, and that includes forwards playing better in our end as well, helping the defense. It's a team concept in front of the goaltenders, and especially where these goaltenders have lapses and stuff. It's just you can't allow too many opportunities to be had against them. They're weaker duo, and you know, be nice if they can, up their ante. Those two goalies could up their ante here and there, this season, improve themselves. That would be nice. But I think it's more on the team defense to improve there. And it's somewhere where we have to. It's about time. Nice to see Marty taking over the fully. Now, he said, like he said, he helped Burrows with the power play, but now it's on him all the way. It's his pet now. And, he's got better ingredients now, too, with Doc coming back and Lane and then Hudson as a quarterback. You got some pieces now to add to that. It was very limited what we had in talent. So that created a big problem, too. So that should be an improvement in itself. But the defense, it has to change. Goals, I do believe, will go up. But I rate Montreal. They got up to 76 points this previous season. I'm projecting 10 points ahead of that. 86 is where I project them to fall. Some people are going to look at me like I got four heads. There's a reason I didn't go higher. I could have went up to about 91. I thought about it, but I wanted to be realistic we haven't proved that we're out of Injuryville, and we have to take that into consideration. If we fall into the situation of injuries like we have been injury prone, then that takes a factor into my equation as well, because none of us knows, and I have to balance off what I've seen the last two seasons. So with that into consideration, that's why I kept them a little more level. They'll be out of the bottom five, and they'll probably fall within the bottom from 12 to 8, within that range. They'll be 12th to 8th to the bottom is where I see them. Now, that doesn't mean that they couldn't fall to the top five, because they could. We have to remember teams are improving. They just don't stay at a standstill while we're rebuilding. So that's also into the equation as well. So with that being said, I do see an improvement. I see us, like I say, 8 to 12th from the bottom and at 86 points. I do not see us fighting for the wild card. I think Detroit, Buffalo, more so, even more than Ottawa, but I do think Ottawa will move up. They really got to they've had a bad rebuild. They should be better than they are. Buffalo should be better than they are. I do think that Buffalo, you'll see an improvement though with Lindy Ruff, old school Sabre. You'll see an improvement with his coaching. So I expect them to blow out. And, we know New Jersey's going to want to make up for last year. So, they're moving into the playoffs for sure. So those rebuilding teams, I do think we are one of the better teams in the rebuild. I do think when we catch up, I think, as long as we stay patient with the pieces we're putting into it, I think we're between Anaheim, New Jersey, and Montreal. I think we'll have the best results from the rebuilds over Detroit, which I think will be next, and then Buffalo and Ottawa. Ottawa may end up back to rebuilding all over again. That's a sad story. I can't figure the talent they've got. I can't figure how they're not better than they were. But now they've got a goaltender. If they've had some health issues too. So if they could stay healthy, who knows? So with that being said, that's where I see the projection for the Habs. I say go Habs go. I'm very excited for this season because we got this massive battle on defense with like 8 guys that are going to be just duking it out. It's going to be interesting to see where the chips fall. And like I said, for the offense, I don't see too much of a challenge other than I see Kapanen having the best chances. That's my guy I pick up there. I think Anstrom's going to be a wild card for the defense. And, Beck's right behind. Beck and Heineman are right behind Kapanen, in my view. And then, of course, there's a lot being said about Beret Brule as well. But I thought he was brought in more for a leader of Laval. But who knows? We'll see what happens. With that being said, thank you for joining me. You've seen it here at Center Heights Productions. I promise this third video. We'll continue to keep an eye on the, because we've been watching all the interviews with Marty and Ramage and management at the golf tournament and the players. So we'll be keeping an eye on it. Good positive attitudes coming out. I like the attitudes. They seem to be have a very good atmosphere um, in their locker room from what I can see. So management's doing a great job of building this. We just got to be patient, and we might need one more good draft to finish because we're not done the rebuild. We're just uh, quite a ways through it. We're over half of the way there, so we're on the right trajectory. But there's still a little work to do. Kid yourself not. We can still use a couple good pieces, and it's very crucial right now for those top 3 in the second line: Newhook, Doc, and Lonnie. That's the Band-Aid line, I'm going to call them. Their health is going to be crucial. And then we got 2 of our best defensemen for different reasons, like Goalie, who's projected to be our number 1. He could be our number 1. I think they should play him on the left now because he's more of the future. And it's his health. That's going to be big. He's got to stay healthy. And then Jacky, our boy, we love him for what he brings, and that's his big thing. But if he keeps getting injured too, so there's 5 players on the Habs that are going to be very important this year to stay healthy. They have to have a healthy year, and we'll see from there how it goes. Thank you for watching me. Please subscribe, hit the likes, tell your friends and family about it. Don't forget to hit it because we need to, and leave your comments. Tell me what you think as well. Just keep it pleasant. There's no nastiness in the comments that we accept here. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. Just tell me what your thoughts are. Those are my projections and thoughts and the insight I see within the team. And like I said, for me, I'm a little more concerned about the young offense coming up because I just felt like for me, I have said that Owen Beck and Heineman had a good rookie camp, but so it's not to knock them. I expected more. That's all. Very simple. And I don't really think from what I've seen, I'm not convinced they can push anybody out of their spot yet. So hopefully they have a good training camp. But I see Kapanen as a wild card up front, and I see Enstrom, the wild card in the back end. We got 4 good defensemen coming in. That who knows how that's going to turn out. Thank you for watching. You've seen it here, remember, and hit the like, subscribe, share. God bless. Catch you in the next episode. keep your eyes tuned.